Welcome back to our exploration of the letters to the churches in Revelation. Today, we delve deeper into the intriguing symbolism of the white pebble and the profound allusions woven into the letter to Pergamum. In the previous segment, we discussed the significance of the white pebble, an emblem of new identity, of being inscribed with a new name. Today, I want to unpack what that might truly mean, especially in the context of Pergamum's complex religious landscape. First, consider the idea of the white pebble, with a new name inscribed upon it. It's a difficult allusion, perhaps a reference to a kind of permanent birth certificate, a symbol of the conqueror's new birth into God's family. But what's striking is that this inscription isn't on parchment, the fragile material Pergamum was famous for, but on something more enduring, something that would outlast the city itself, which, as history shows us, eventually crumbled to dust. Could this be a metaphor for the believer's eternal identity, a name not written on fragile paper, but on a material that endures forever, perhaps even on the soul itself? The question then arises, does the new name represent the name of God, or is it the name of Christ, the divine name that believers hold close? Pergamum, after all, had held fast to the name of Christ. Does the reference suggest that, through fierce testing and trial, the believer learns, perhaps more deeply than ever, the love and power of God? And does this new name, this new conception of God, become so personal and intimate that none other can save the one who receives it? In ancient religions, initiates were often told secret names for their gods, names that conveyed special privileges and were kept hidden, shared only within the inner circle. Could the promise here be that the Christian believer, by enduring, receives such a secret divine name, an intimate personal designation that signifies belonging and divine authority? Now let's turn to the story of Elias Aristides, a 2nd century orator who in a dream encountered the god Asclepius. The god gave him a new name, a name that addressed him in his new life, awakening him to fresh purpose and assurance. It was more than a mere label, it was a call to action, a badge of divine endorsement. And here's an interesting connection. Asclepius was worshipped at Pergamum, and initiates in his cult likely received secret names and mottos, symbols of their new spiritual identity. Could it be that the early Christian community, in confronting pagan practices, was aware of these ancient rites, that the promise of a new name was a divine counterpoint to pagan initiation rites, offering believers a true, eternal identity in Christ? Another fascinating angle is the possible political and imperial implications. When Octavian became Augustus, he took on a new name, one loaded with religious and imperial significance. Might the letter to Pergamum be subtly referencing this transformation? A city steeped in imperial worship, where the emperor's name was divine and allegiance was symbolized through titles and titles alone. Could the new name then be a declaration of ultimate allegiance to Christ above all else, a name that signifies a new authority, a new kingdom, forever written on the believer's soul? Now let's consider the hidden manna. In Jewish tradition, the manna was the divine provision in the wilderness, hidden in a cave on Sinai against the day of Messiah's coming. This hidden manna in Revelation symbolizes divine sustenance, secret nourishment for those who remain faithful. In Pergamon's context, where pagan and imperial influences threatened the purity of the church, This hidden manna was a promise of divine sustenance, a spiritual food reserved for the faithful. And finally, we see how Pergamon's religious fabric was woven from multiple threads: the ancient Anatolian deities, the Greek gods like Asclepius and Dionysius, and the Roman imperial cult, all blended into a powerful mixture, an amalgam of religion, politics, and cultural identity. The spirit of Pergamum then was one of compromise, a synthesis of diverse beliefs, all vying for dominance. And into this environment the Spirit's message is clear. Fidelity to Christ means holding fast to the true name, the true identity, even amid the allure of pagan and imperial power. So, as we reflect on this letter, let us remember the believer's new name, hidden manna, and eternal inscription are symbols of divine assurance, reminding us that in the midst of cultural chaos, our identity is written in heaven, forever secure. Thank you for joining me today. In our next episode, we'll explore how these themes continue to speak to us in the modern age, calling us to steadfastness and true allegiance.